Hello again, or if this is your first time, welcome to the Canting Club. This week we have an Italian white, and it's from the Abruzzo region of central Italy. This lies due east of Rome on the opposite side of the Italian peninsula, the Adriatic coast. Its most famous wine is probably the red Montepulciano d'Abruzzo that's on every Italian restaurant wine list. This is the matching white from exactly the same area, Trebbiano d'Abruzzo. It's made from a notably pale grape variety, and this is quite a young wine, 2015 vintage. So even though it's not particularly deep, I was expecting it to be paler. I think this wine has seen pre-fermentation skin contact to extract more aromas from the skins, which also deepens the colour. There's a heavenly summery nose here of white flowers and citrus. The white flowers I think are chamomile, and the citrus maybe lemon oil. It's not hugely intense, but it is very pure and clean and obviously unoaked. Smells rather Italian too. It reminds me of the Greco di Tufo we did, or perhaps the Soave, only without the almonds of that wine. Just lovely nose. Gosh, it's really pure and clean on the palate as well, but in contrast to the nose, there's real intensity here. It starts off light-bodied. It's fully dry and quite high in acidity, so it begins light in the mouth, but then it puts on weight. It just builds and builds. There's terrific concentration in this, but it isn't really fruity. No, instead there's this stony mineral intensity that coats the mouth. You feel it more than you taste it, and that's allied to a creamy texture that I think has come from Lee's aging. There is some fruit here behind all that, delicate pear and citrus, which starts off as lemon and then shades into grapefruit. But this is mostly about those minerals. However, the grapefruit does make a reappearance on the finish. Grapefruit pith, along with lots more stones, mouth-watering acidity. Gosh, it really lasts. I was amazed when I tasted this. I couldn't believe this much mineral intensity in a 12.5% white that said Trebbiano on the label. Old hands will have heard me rail about this grape variety before, except it isn't this grape variety. The Trebbiano I've always been sniffy about, the main one, is Trebbiano Toscano from Tuscany, and it doesn't really taste of anything at all. It turns out that Trebbiano d'Abruzzo isn't made from that, or at least it doesn't have to be, and this one isn't. This one is from the local boy, Trebbiano Abruzzese, which is clearly superior. Although, by the way, if you know a great, real Trebbiano, do please tell us, and then I can have to eat my words live on camera for you. Although this doesn't taste much like other Trebbianos, it is wonderfully Italian. Reminds me very much of that Greco di Tufo with that backloaded mineral intensity that builds in the mouth. It's tempted to think that because they're both mountain wines, this comes from inland and high up, and that what we're tasting here is the rocks and the slopes. It's certainly going to be a wonderful wine to have when the sun shines, and I hope it does for you next week when you get to taste it. Cheers!